People down here ask me all the time why I moved to South Carolina. Freedom, I tell them every time. The next question is usually, like what? Well, like freedom from lockdowns, freedom from tax law that penalizes small business, freedom from exorbitant cost of living caused by government subsidies, and also freedom to shoot an AK with a drum mag off my back porch, while my old state is attempting to ban all semi-automatic firearms, and then some. Keep watching for the details. I feel like I've been complaining about Representative Linsky for decades.
It's been 84 years.
Of course he's behind this monstrosity of safetyness in Massachusetts. Now, to be clear, Linsky has introduced bills like this before, but Massachusetts has prided itself on being a national leader in gun control legislation, and in a post-Bruin world, the game of who can be the worst states for guns is having some wild and extreme contenders. And with the former AG Maura Healey now at the helm, I'd say we can't count these bills out. The gun control package on the table would require liability insurance, ban all semi-autos, creates a registry for magazines, yes, magazines, requires microstamping, and much, much more. And of course, it's times like these that I like to give a shout out to companies like Palmetto State Armory for helping all of my South Carolina freedom dreams come true. You can check out my website or email list to stay ahead of their best daily deals. Now back to the tyranny of Massachusetts, let's start with the worst and work our way back. First, HD 353, an act banning semi-automatic firearms. This bill would ban all privately owned semi-automatic firearms and would institute a gun buyback program. It does this by amending the state's assault weapons ban and changing the definition of a large capacity weapon to any firearm, rifle, or shotgun that is semi-automatic with a fixed large capacity feeding device, that is semi-automatic and capable of accepting or readily modifiable to accept any detachable large capacity feeding device, that employs a rotating cylinder capable of accepting more than 10 rounds of ammunition in a rifle or firearm and more than 5 shotgun shells in the case of a shotgun or firearm. Or, and here's the doozy, any rifle or shotgun containing a semi-automatic mechanism. It then strikes out every instance of the word assault weapon in current state law and replaces it with any semi-auto rifle or shotgun.
So everything!
Violating the ban would carry a penalty of 18 months in prison and a fine of $5,000 for each weapon. Insanity. Next up, and honestly it's hard to pick the next worst because they're all so terrible, but let's go with the HD 357, an act to close the large capacity magazine loophole. Oh man, I'm so glad I don't live there anymore. I will give it to them because this one is actually pretty clever. You see, mags over 10 rounds are already banned in Massachusetts and have been since 1994. Disgusting, I know. The catch was, you can have one of these mags if it had been manufactured before the ban. But as the bill says, this law is not enforceable, as there is no way to distinguish between a pre-1994 large capacity feeding device and a post-1994 large capacity feeding device. This legislation would require anyone in the possession of a large capacity feeding device to register such device with the Executive Office of Public Safety and Security.
These rats are very clever.
I have to say, they got creative with this one. They know gun registries are a big no-no, so they're finding a loophole here. Which is ironic because they accuse gun owners of finding the loophole. Because if you have an AR mag, they'll know that you probably have an AR, and I can't think of another state that has tried a mag registry, at least at the top of my head. So bonus points for creativity and tyranny, I guess. Next, let's do HD 370, an act to prevent illegal trafficking and gun violence among youth in the Commonwealth. This bill would require all guns sold to be designed or equipped with the ability to microstamp ammunition in order to provide an avenue for law enforcement to pursue those who commit gun crimes by connecting a criminal with evidence found at the scene of a crime involving a gun. The bill claims that the technology is easy and readily available, which residents of California can tell you is a flat-out lie. And this bill is somehow, allegedly, about stopping gun sales to kids. Doesn't mention children anywhere in the bill. This next one has a lot of bad things going for it, including violations of the First Amendment. HD 352, an act relative to 3D printed weapons and ghost guns. This one would ban ghost guns, make it illegal to print one without an FFL, and would ban the distribution of digital instructions that may be used to program a 3D printer to manufacture or produce a firearm, firearm receiver, magazine, or firearm component. 2 words: good luck. The bill also requires serial numbers to be on pretty much every gun part. Not sure how exactly they're going to fit that on a firing pin. Other bills include requiring liability insurance and pointing to New Jersey passing a similar bill as proof that it's a good idea, requiring 5 hours of live fire training at a gun club in order to apply for a gun license, which is a fun one because a lot of times you already have to have your license to be part of a gun club. Another that would require all private gun sales to go through an FFL, forming a special gun violence research task force within the Department of Public Health, and a bill escalating the punishments for illegal sale and possession. The final bill basically codifies into law the assault weapons copycat ban that Maura Healey announced in an open letter a few summers ago. Yes, that Maura Healey, and no, I don't know how it's legal. All in all, the gun owners of Massachusetts have a tough road ahead of them. And I know there's going to be plenty of people in the comments saying, well, it'll never pass because Bruin, or it's unconstitutional. Well, look at New York, look at New Jersey, look at Illinois. All of these places have lawsuits against them right now, might have had parts of the legislation struck down. And gun owners are still having to sit there and abide by these laws, waiting for them to go through the courts. Temporary tyranny is still tyranny and will still do the damage of emboldened gun controllers. So if you live in Massachusetts, donate to your local gun rights groups, call your senators and your representatives every day, all day, send them form emails, just flood them as much as you can, or, and this is controversial, leave. I know that there were some folks when I moved that said that I was betraying the state or gun owners somehow by not staying and fighting, but at some point you have to understand that the bulk of people in that state are against you, and they are going to continue to fight you and erode your rights every single chance you get. So you have to make the choice of whether you want to fight every single day or move somewhere where you can shoot an AK off your back porch with a drum mag. The choice is yours, my friends. And with that, that is it for this video. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe if you're new here. Drop a comment down below. If you like this video, you like my channel, please consider voting for me in the top voices of the 2A category in the Gundy Awards. You get a vote every day for the rest of the month, and that will also be linked in the description and the pinned comment. As always, thanks for tuning in. Stay safe out there, especially my blue state friends, and happy shooting.